My intention for today, for this talk, is that if you walked into this room here and you didn't believe in your artistry, in your creativity, that somebody on that car ride was yelling at you, "You're not a good singer," and you stopped singing. And the worst is, if you stopped it until now, then I want to invite you to rethink that, and I hope at the end of this talk, you walk out this room with a new belief system and leave that package here. Each of us is experiencing the world in our own unique way. We make those experiences our own, we take them in, we might bottle them up, we might lock them up. But you have the chance to storytell, to reflect them back, to shine them back to anybody around you, and to even embellish them, which makes you a storyteller, and have a different life this way. You can solidify your emotions. I want to invite you to close your eyes for a second. Imagine 1960s, winter, a maternity ward, a challenging birthing. Things don't go right, there are problems. And for the next 3 years, that baby boy does not talk. The world around him thinks there's something wrong with him. And that's the first experience. And then suddenly, 3 years in, he starts talking in full sentences. When he's in school, his biggest wish is, I want to go to the United States, I want to be in America. And then the next wish is, what do you want to be? I want to be director of a bank. You can imagine that if you're 8 years old, you want to be director of a bank. That was laughable. He was clumsy, accident prone, bad in dance class, he didn't find the beat. He wanted to be a musician and he joined a band, was pushed on the side. That was a pretty rough life for him. And there's this other person, super successful, living in Hollywood, studying there, conducting big orchestras, working with the best of the best, with Spielberg, Wim Wenders. He's founder of 4 internationally incredible successful companies. He invents the audio branding for big global corporations. And he co-writes with Beethoven. This work brings him to Robbie Williams, and he becomes professor at the MDW in Vienna University. So why I'm telling you those two really, really opposite lives? Because when you put them together, it becomes one life, it's my life. And my life, that journey started really troublesome and unfolded into creativity. Let's talk about creativity. What is creativity? Scientists, researchers try to find out, because we are in trouble land. Only 2% or less than 2% of humans live off of creativity. Less than 2%. And when you look at the kids, they are creative 24/7. They're creative when they sleep, when they eat, when they run, whatever they do. What happens in the next 20, 25 years? That they're losing this ability. What can we do? Researchers try to help. And there are some experiments. One experiment is cognitive psychologists ask you a project, like an object, and would tell you what's the association to that. So if I say brick, give you 10 seconds. What comes to mind? You might say building a house, a mansion, a bridge, the color of the brick. Some people might say I can cook soup with it. I can file my nails and be like really far away with those answers. And that is a sign of imagination. And in our brains, those are far distant synapses which are connected. A sign of imagination, fantasy, and creativity. And scientists can measure that. And we hope that we can help to maintain that and invigorate it. What is creativity? To me, creativity is choice. Why is that? It's selection. Imagine Beethoven, a genius composer. When he wrote music, when he composed, he walked down the vineyards in Vienna. When he had an idea, and he had many ideas in his head, he would pen it down in his booklet. You see those scrap pages up there. He was an artist and all over the place. And sometimes, so he picked that melody, he thought this one is a great one, into the booklet, and then later on he was reading them and put maybe two together. And this was by accident sometimes. So he put things together which didn't mean to be together, but he broke rules. He was a renegade in music. He did not go by the books. And those creative accidents are a big part of his success, to be just different. And in the 90s, a friend of mine who's a graphic designer, in a meeting told me he's working on this big A movie flick. It was Eraser with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Vanessa Williams, so high pressure. And they liked the graphics he did, but they did not like the music. So he asked if I had an idea, and I said, yeah, give me a week and I'll let you know. And he said, no way. Tomorrow morning is the next meeting. If you have something, I'll present it. You can imagine that night was pretty rough, and I got scared. Again, I thought, I will never be able to do that, and I did sound design and arrange and music composing and this and that. 4 o'clock in the morning, I was so tired when I played the melody and I pushed 2 keys at once, it's dissonant. But it did something in me, and I listened back again. I thought, that's really interesting and different. I didn't mean it this way. I presented it, and that was my first big movie credit. And it really changed my life, being open about those accidents. And that's something I really want to invite you, that the word wrong is only in your head, but not out there. And creativity is an aha moment. It's a big moment in our brain. We overcome a challenge, we overcome a problem. And one of my biggest problems when I was young was when I realized I cannot remember melodies. And that's awful for a composer or musician. Everybody else could do it. I felt ashamed, I felt really not good about this. And so this gave me a chance to level up in different aspects. I practiced much more than all of my friends. I dug into technology, into analytics, and so on and so on and so on. And when I found out that this ungift, not memorizing somebody else's work, was my biggest gift, because whatever I do is original, is not coming from outside. When the clients found out about this, that it's unique and different, the world opened up to me, and the belief system opened up in me. And there are foundations that talk about creativity, like sonophilia, and they analyze it, where it's coming. One of the most important parts is be curious. Be curious every moment of your life, and your life will be way more exciting. And it's allow your emotions. Dig into your emotions. There was another one. Couldn't remember melodies, I could make up by being fearful to be inside and unleash emotions which I had deep in there and never knew about them. It's like, be not non-linear, be different. Dare to be one of those rule breakers. And if you ever get stuck, that might be a math problem at home, that might be writing poetry. You find a new perspective and you will do better. And you can do this. Brian Eno has his oblique strategies. It's a card deck with nonsensical questions. They bring you somewhere else. And when you come back, it's like taking a mental walk. You have a different perspective. And everything might be much, much easier. So by being non-linear and walking around and enjoying, you have another strategy to solve your math problem, your homework. So when I was a teenager, all my idols looked very similar. Miserable, sad, stressed. They don't look very happy for the success they're having. And I linked that into being successful. You have to be tense and miserable. And that was a self-fulfilling prophecy with my not knowing, not remembering the melody world. And I felt like an imposter. A similar process was when Quincy Jones asked the 17 best musicians at the time in the 80s to sing the charity song, We Are the World. Can you imagine, like 17 of the best people come in. Those are multi-million selling people. They changed music. They're standing next to each other. And if you look at Bob Dylan, he looks like your kid on the first day of school, scared. He needed Quincy Jones and Stevie Wonder to hold hands that he could sing. Why is that? Huey Lewis, he told us that he was trembling, he was afraid, his knees were trembling. It is not because of the other one, it is your own doing. If you don't believe in yourself, you're scared. That guy next to you, or that lady next to you doesn't scare you. It is your perception, and you can work on that. There's one difference. Jacob Collier, he's the guy who runs out the stage in pajamas. And even Vienna, one of the toughest crowds, he made up a song on the spot, and it was so well performed that it ended up on a record. And he's saying, as an artist, you have to create your own space, because that space was not there before. It is your space. Find it, and be there, and enjoy it. And then, you need luck. My luck happened when Matthias Röder called me and said, Walter, would you like to write a symphony with Beethoven? I thought he was joking and joked around, and then realized that he really meant it this way. And I got curious, and he talked about, we want to change creativity this way. Can artificial intelligence and human creativity live with each other? Sounds interesting. I said yes. But man, that night, I got so scared when I realized I should write a symphony with Beethoven. I felt terrible, and I was convinced I need to call the next morning saying, I can't do it, I shouldn't do it, I'm sick. But luckily, I met the team. Ahmed Elgammal, he did the AI, and he explained the process to me. And it was an incredible process. Why AI? Because I am at a different experience level than Beethoven, of course. I listened to Nine Inch Nails and Stravinsky and Shostakovich and so on. Beethoven didn't. But the artificial intelligence was trained to be a partner to Beethoven, only knew his work and everything that influenced him. So there was an eye-to-eye with the AI, and the AI talked to me, and so we could finish this project. It was a process where we daily dug into technology. It looks difficult, and it really is. I really don't understand that part. But I understood that your style, your artistic behavior can be depicted mathematically. There is a way, because analytics will find out the statistic values of your next note. You most of the time write the next harmony, how you compose. And that looks like this for Beethoven. So when we elongated the first little theme, it was a couple of bars. And it sounds like this. I got that from the AI and fixed it a little bit, arranged it for string quartet and glass harmonica. And we played it in Bonn at the Beethoven house. And there was a big meeting with a lot of naysayers, you can imagine. Artificial intelligence and Beethoven, that can never work. And we asked the journalists and the naysayers, raise your hand when it's not Beethoven anymore. And the amazing part was they were way too late. So that gave us the energy to work on the real thing. For the next 2 years, I woke up with getting information from Rutgers University, put it into music, and going back and forth, and on days where I was in tears, so beautiful. Then there were days it was so awful that it was laughable, it made me angry. It was an emotional, incredible life. This is how my mornings looked when I got the information. It was nice chaos. And this work after it was performed worldwide, opened up the doors to Robbie Williams. He said he wants to bring Beethoven into his Angel song. And again, immediately, yes, and then, oh my God, I can't do that. I learned as well that Robbie Williams has this imposter syndrome as well. He doesn't think he's a good artist, and he fails and is not convinced about his genius.
Check out my new version of Angel's rearranged and re-recorded with my very good buddy, Beethoven. I mean, with Beethoven AI, you know.
And that opened up another incredible journey. To see that a lot of us don't believe in ourselves, but let's make a pact, let's support each other. And your parents and teachers, let's be kind to our students, let's encourage them, because that one time you're saying, this is awful, that might change the life of your student, of your kid, and that would be terrible. So with this, I would like to leave you here, maybe close your eyes again, let go of all those fears, let go of that feeling that you're not an artist, that you're not worthy, that you can't be creative, and start a new life, believe in yourself.